But hey, welcome to the STiKS, you guys. Rage has been a detriment as always. We had a week off, but this week we are back live with a very special guest in the form of Zero, who I'll come on to talk about in a second. If Rage can compose himself, I'm going to hand it back to him though, hopefully.
Can you hear me? My microphone, for those who don't know, I'm having a little bit of a struggle out here. You can probably tell, but I've got sellotape sticking my mic together. So, you know, if you're out there and you're a microphone company and you want to send some stuff my way, and I won't have a roll of sellotape next to me, we're good. So hopefully your mic's all right. And yeah, let's quickly transition from my struggles, and we'll talk about our guest who's on our show for the first time. So why don't you go and introduce yourself for those who don't know who you are?
My name's Trey Morris, if that matters anyone. Also known as Zero. Play for Epsilon with Swanee, Shane and Reedy. Recently just turned 18. Playing in a pro league and going to Gfinity in London in 2 weeks' time.
That's a pretty decent month for you then.
Yeah.
You turned 18, 9 Epsilon, 9 to Talk about that a little bit later, but we'll introduce himself because I know he's going to get that if we don't miss his time to shine. So why don't you go into Tommy?
Hey, I'm your resident ginger that isn't the EU scum, or well, I am the EU scum, but I don't know. I've been given that name, but I don't even look like him in my opinion. But hey, yes, my name's Tommy. I'm one of the hosts on the STiKS with the lovely Alex. And yeah, this week we're going to be obviously talking about Zero, his past kind of history in Call of Duty for anyone that doesn't know about who he is, because I've already seen a few people in the chat being like, who is Zero? So obviously this show is to enlighten you, to get you to know Zero a bit better. And then we're going to talk about obviously him getting onto Epsilon. We're going to talk about the Gfinity Pro League and going forward events like obviously what you talked about, the Gfinity LAN event coming up in 2 weekends.
Yeah, quick question. You saw Pro 2. Does he look like that? Yes or no?
Your mic's gone again.
Oh,
I was gonna say.
Keep my head still because I think there's like there's a fine spot between it going off and going on. But Zero, you saw Tommy at Am2 Pro 2, right?
Briefly, I think I got a quick glimpse.
Does he look like Scum? Yes or no?
I mean, to a certain extent, yeah.
Oh Lord!
But I wouldn't say he's an exact lookalike.
That's something, I guess. That's,
right, okay, so you're off to a flying start on the show. So, to be honest, let's take it back. We'll talk about who you are, because a lot of people have no idea who you are, and I'm sure you can admit that as well. You know, you've kind of come through the ranks, especially in Advanced Warfare. Ghost, you wasn't really that known. Then Advanced Warfare has kind of been your game, and now you found yourself on top organizations like Orbit, Aware, and now you're on with Epsilon. So, I would probably say that Advanced Warfare has been your game. But I want to talk a little bit about how you actually got into COD esports. So if you can remember, I'm sure it's a while ago, how did you actually find yourself getting into Call of Duty esports? Was there any sort of people who helped you bring through the ranks, or was it just grinding GBs? How did it start?
Well, I was on PS4 for when the game came out. When the console came out, I was on PS4 until the end of Ghost, August 22nd. I got my Xbox One.
Damn.
Right.
So it's only recently that you've actually transitioned over. It's literally about a year.
I haven't even been in this console a year, and
wow. And you're already on Epsilon. You're doing well. You're doing well. You're like the EU Zoomer. He just went from like nothing to like everything in like a space of a few months. So, what made you transition? Like, is it the money? Is it just because Call of Duty on Xbox is so big? What made you transition from PS4?
I got like a few people were telling me that I was like really good and shit, like stuff like that. And so I thought, because I had a summer job at the time, so I thought, I'm just gonna buy an Xbox, buy my Astros, buy my monitor. So I got all that stuff, and then I've moved over with a few people that I played on PlayStation, and Russell, Blakey, and like a few others that we just messed around, played wages and G-Fins with, and yeah, we just got known for your warriors on Ghost, and I came over to on Advanced Warfare, and I ended up not really having a team or anything like that because I didn't go to LAN events. Like, I only just recently came over knowing who I was. So I went to my first event, which was Am2 Pro, with Copley, Tiny, and Triz, which we ended up placing top 32. We got
is this the first Am2 Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's my first ever event, and yeah, we got really unlucky at that event. We just messed up. We choked really badly, and yeah, I came back, just grinded out the game, kept because I'm known as the biggest joke on the game in the EU at the moment. Like that's how people know me, and that's how people know me at this moment in time. And moving on to just grinding out the game, waiting for the next event, which is Pro 2, because I missed out the first live series on the game.
So you've only actually attended 2 LAN events, am I correct?
Yes.
That's pretty insane.
And 2 LAN events was obviously top 32 and then top 8. So there's quite a transition between, obviously, a lot of these players you see for their first couple of events, it's all top 32s, top 24s. So you kind of took the gap, cut the bridge, and I'm getting angry looks from Tommy and Goalie, so I'm not sure if my microphone's working or not. So you've kind of obviously took the jump from top 32 all the way to top 8. So it's kind of a bit of a big leap for you to go in just 2 events, right?
Yeah, because our team, I've been on Orbit, Wrecking, all them orgs before I joined Aware. And I joined Aware, we were expected a better placement. We expected a better placement as well, but we just didn't play as we did online. Like we all played really well individually, but in game at LAN we just didn't click as we did in line. So we got top 8, which is kind of respectful for that event due to the amount of teams that were there. And
it's not bad for your second LAN. I'm going to put it out there now. I mean, if I was you and I placed top 32, well, in itself, I'd be literally like ringing up my mum saying, like, give me something. Like, I've placed, like, should be thinking, what the hell are you on about? And then to place top 8, I think that's pretty amazing, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I get a lot of slack just because of how I play online. Like, how I'm the biggest joke in EU, apparently. So, like, when I go to LAN events, it's all eyes on me if I choke or not, if I do really bad. But, you know, no pressure on me anymore. I don't really care.
Does that drive you, though? Because surely, like, if in a way, it's like you have haters because obviously you're where you are and you're not the most accomplished player. It's, you know, fair to say.
Yeah,
so is it motivation? How do you take it on the chin? Does it motivate you to carry on, or does it kind of actually make you nervous and kind of like, I've actually got to really perform, otherwise this is going to carry on, and so on and so forth? Because obviously every player wants to prove themselves, but it's like, it's how you react to that kind of pressure that determines like your success, I feel.
Anyone that kind of says anything bad about me, like, I don't class them as, I never really speak to them. Like, if anyone
just put them on a block list.
If anyone like chats any rubbish about me, about how I play, they just don't really get my attention. So anyone that really does that, like, just motivates me to play even more. But like, I've always been motivated to play any time, like, even in any team, even if we're losing every game, I'm always motivated to play because I want to be the best. Like, you ain't going to be the best if you're not playing all the time, grinding out the game.
Yeah.
And you, like, most of the people that say I don't deserve an opportunity are people that have been in the scene for a fairly long time but haven't done anything. Like, they're just not grinding out the game enough.
Yeah. So it all comes down to kind of your dedication, your hard work that, you know, eventually it will pay off, and you're a prime example of that.
Yeah, I'm just more dedicated, I feel, more than most of the players in the scene.
That's fair enough. That's not, I mean, okay, let's take it back a second. So I want to ask you both a question. Obviously you talked about how you used to play PlayStation, and then you switched over. So what do you think is kind of because I mean, for me, if I was to switch over from one console to another, I would think that like it's going to be a struggle. So for you, what was kind of the hardest stepping stone from switching over? Because obviously it's a different controller, and technically it's kind of a different environment, if you will, to a certain extent. So what kind of was the biggest hurdle of getting over? Was it like plain sailing, if you will?
Honestly, the biggest hurdle was getting known. Like, okay. If you can play with a small circle, but if they're not the best, then you ain't going to get known because you're just going to keep going out online and stuff like that.
Because it's like basically 2 separate communities, PS4 and Xbox. Let's put it plain and simple.
Yeah. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, Alex, from your sake as a caster, if it does go towards PS4, kind of what is... Are you going to buy a PS4? Are you going to stay on Xbox? Or because it could technically switch back, and it's going to be silly for Zer0 because to think that he's just come over from PS4 and now he's going to have to go back potentially.
To be honest, I need to buy a PS4. I'm saving up the pennies. You know, I need to get the PS4, but there's other priorities such as the headphones, such as a headset. You know, I've got other priorities on there, so it's not like I'm going to run down to the shop and buy it straight away. But again, it's going to be quite hard because there's different communities. Like Zero, for example, he knows that there's going to be PlayStation players out there who are probably on the same level, if not better, already at some of these Xbox players coming over. So it's going to be quite interesting to see some players come through the ranks. Zero, how do you feel as if the transitions, because you've still got a PS4, you was telling us about how you've been playing Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
How do you think the transition's been for you? Do you feel as if it's been a lot easier because you're used to the PlayStation 4 controller? So do you feel as if you're doing better as, say, for example, some other Xbox Pro players are doing?
I mean, I kind of messed up really because I came over on the Xbox.
And then
turns out it's going on PlayStation, which I never thought would ever happen. So yesterday I said, I just went up to my mum and said, I'm going out buying a PlayStation 4 right now because I got to play Black Ops 3 beta.
Did you sell your PS4?
Yes.
You sold your PS4? Oh no!
And then I went out yesterday and bought a brand new one.
You must be thinking like, what have I done? Like, but
honestly, it was because I got my PS4 first time because before PS4 came out, I didn't have a job or anything. Like now, I don't have a job because I quit my job to play for Epsilon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know, no one blames you for that because there's rewards that can come with it.
I just done it because, you know, fuck it, why not? But anyway, sold my PlayStation, went out yesterday and bought a new one. But like, I got my first PlayStation for free, and then got my second one I had to pay for myself. So yeah, I kind of messed up about that one.
How did you, if just to kind of ask, because I'm curious, how did you get your first PlayStation 3?
PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
Present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. I was for some reason thinking like you attended some PS4 event and they're like, here, have a PlayStation.
No.
I was expecting you to be like, oh, I'm from Dodgy Dave down at the market.
You're on Amazon selling them for £100, aren't you?
I was expecting where this was going, and I was like, let's just say he said it was a present. Let's not get anyone into trouble.
Nah, I didn't steal it or anything. Okay. I got it as a present. Good. And then I sold it, come over to Xbox. Doing well on Xbox, and I got to go back to PlayStation, which isn't bad because I'm still used to the controller.
Do you not think it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, the fact that you got to that stage where you were starting to get recognition on the Xbox, and then all of a sudden it's like the dirt's been thrown in your eyes again? Is that the fact that now you have to restart PlayStation and buy a PlayStation? So to be honest, you feel as if it's a little bit of karma, you know. The fact that you've had like all this good luck, obviously turning 18, now you find yourself one of the best teams in Europe. Do you feel as if it's kind of like it's your fair share of bad luck coming through?
Not at all. When I left PS4, I was considered, like, most of the people in the PS4 competitive community know me before I went. Still kind of, I wouldn't say supported, but still like kept following me when I was on Xbox, because like not everyone's gonna like me, you know what I mean? But everyone that I've chilled with on PlayStation before, like all the top players that are considered top players on PlayStation now know me. So like two communities that are coming over, it doesn't really bother me because I know everyone.
Right, that's probably going to benefit you as well, because these X players who don't know these top PS4 players are going to, you know, estimate them, while you obviously know these top PS4 players can kind of, you know, help. I know. Sorry, my microphone.
We apologise for Rage Mike. Sorry, I just had to step out the room for a second.
I'm thinking of things. I've got an idea for the break, but we'll come to that in a minute. It might be better. It might be worse. Tommy, just talk before, you know, I make everyone's ears bleed with my bad microphone. Okay, so just before we go to break, what were you just talking about? Just to catch up, I just had to step out the room for a second. We're talking about the PlayStation, but I want to talk a little bit about the Aware roster. I'm going to go away from PlayStation, talking about the Aware roster, and obviously, Anti-Pro 2, you placed top 8, what I'm sure you'd be very, very happy with, especially after your top 34 before that at the last Anti-Pro event. So you was going into the tournament under Aware, what's a well-known organisation with the roster of Sonny B, who's been in the community for ages, Damo and J Marple, who are two great players as well. So going to the event, what did you honestly expect as a placement? And then was you surprised by the outcome, or was you disappointed by the outcome of top 8?
I predicted us at least. I wanted to at least get top 4.
Right.
With the team that we had, the way it was going online, I thought, you know what, we can do it. But as I said, we just went there and
So
didn't.
were you disappointed then, or?
Yeah, like for my second event, no. But like as a team and as a player, I was, because I know we could have done much better. But as I said, like the way we transitioned from online to LAN in the S&Ds and uplinks was just poor. But like at the moment, like because I haven't really played with my proper team at the moment, Swanee and Shane, and really we're only like Swanee's off and doing stuff and Shane's off doing stuff at the moment. But that was probably my best team at the moment, like just due to how long we played with each other. But I'm sure that will change in this team because I like everyone in this team. But like it's just because how long I knew them all. Like I've been playing with Maple since I came over on Ghosts. Like I consider him one of my best mates in the scene at the moment. So him unaware, like everyone unaware was it was a good roster.
So we'll talk about how that broke, and then we'll go for a break and try and fix my microphone. So how did that aware roster break? Because obviously a top 8, you said you was underperformed. A lot of people, especially me, would probably have said that top 8 was roughly the best place for you to say. I actually had you as a top 6 team, so top 8 isn't that too far. How did the roster kind of break down? Because you said that Maple's one of your mates, Damo, Sonny B, 2 high caliber players. So how did you all of a sudden find yourself not on that roster?
Maple was going to quit after the event.
Right.
He told us
there's going to be roster changes anyway, so it was inevitable.
Yeah. It wasn't like none of us all fell out or anything like that. It was going to happen.
You had a little scrap in the lobby or something. Like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Nah, it'll change. It was going to happen before the event. We just didn't really tell anyone about it. Me turning 18 after the event as well. That kind of stopped it all as well.
Right.
Because when I had plans when I turned 18 that I was just going to join an 18+ team, get into the league, which I've done in a sense. Like, but I was going to do it the hard way.
You make it so easy. Yeah, I'm gonna go up to Millennium, go up to Fuse, go up to Epsilon, and just find myself on one of their teams.
Nah, I was going to do it the hard way with Damo, Sonny, and JT. That was the older way roster before I left, because obviously I'm not going to turn down an offer.
Yeah,
but we was going to go through. We got a championship spot in the GFIN League. We was going to go through there, get into the Premiership spot, but then I got an offer from Epsilon, which I couldn't refuse. So
offer you can't refuse. I've only said that because I've been watching too much Godfather. We're going to actually take a break, I think, because I need to fix my microphone. I'm not sure if it's got any better or any worse. Goalie's just shouting at me, so I assume it's probably worse. So we're going to take a break. And then hopefully when we come back, I might have a different headset on. I might not. I might have just, left the building and just quit. We'll never know. We'll find out. But guys, don't go anywhere. Check down below for all the codes. 5%, use code STiKS to get 5% off of Scuff. And then use code STiKS for 10% off G Fuel. And we'll see you in 90 seconds. So goodbye. Don't go anywhere. Bye.
Hey, welcome back to the STiKS. Me and Rage are tossing and turning today, should we say. He's like, bring it back. Then he's like, no, I'm going to bring it back. We're back and forth like that. But welcome back to the STiKS, guys. Hopefully you refilled your cup of teas, because we're stereotyped to drink tea all day, apparently. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you do have any questions for Zero or us, or just to do with Call of Duty Esports, do leave them in the chat. I watch the chat like a hawk. So if you have a question, I'll pick it out and I'll give it to Zero or whoever. But kind of continuing on the chat about Zero's career, what's pretty exceptional to think that he's gone to 2 LAN events and he's on Epsilon. I mean, if that's the case, I'm going to pick up the sticks and start playing and go to 2 events and hope that I'm on Vitality or something. So,
but you play some, you are not going to get yourself on a top team.
Okay, well, you've just crushed and I feel like I'm a bit hurt inside, but I'm going to continue anyway. So Zero, talk us through the transition from Aware to Zero, in the sense of, when did you first get approached by Epsilon, and kind of what were your reactions? Did you even thought this was possible?
I mean, it's quite funny, you see. I was at work, I was doing my summer job. It was quite a long summer job. And I was getting ready to go home just to go play some Call of Duty. And Shane followed me on Twitter. And I was like, all right.
You get a bit giggy,
And I was like, what's he going to follow me on Twitter? He must have accidentally done it. And then,
really?
I thought the same thing when he followed me on Twitter. I was like, oh, I'm going to get the Epsilon call up. It's fine. I paid it for him. I'll run downstairs. I'm getting the Epsilon call
Rage
up.
is like, I'm prepping for coach. I'm prepping for coach.
Yeah, mate. To be honest, I'm still waiting for the DM.
He was tweeting out before that he needs a few for GFIN, and I was like, he's just going to follow me, ask me a few for GFIN. But then he said, let's make a squaddy, and I was like, I can't, bro. I'm playing GFIN with my team. We need practice, and he was like, I'm not on about GFIN.
So you at first didn't actually realise what he was proposing.
Yeah, I thought he wanted to just play a game of online Call of Duty with me.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I was like, nah, I'm playing it with my team. He was like, I'm not about that. I'm on about a permanent squaddy. And I was like, oh shit, what kind of, don't know what I want to do here. Like, but the first thing I done was I told my team that I told my team I'm not a snaky guy. I don't like doing that. I rang up Damo and said that I'd got this and it could possibly happen. And yes, told them I didn't want to say to them just do it out the blue because they'll just be weird with me throughout the whole time that I'll ever speak to them.
Yeah.
So
you wanted to do it a bit more professional, kind of talk to them about it.
I mean, they understood because it's come on, it's Epsilon. We're playing with Sony and Shane. Like. But yeah, they understood. So I was playing with them for a while, and yeah, that's how I got approached by him, really.
So Shane say the roster's going to be Swanee, me, and Reedy, and we need you, or did he just say it? Let's make two, and we'll find two more people. Did he actually tell you what the roster's going to be? Did he say that Swanee and Reedy's going to play? He
said him and Swanee are sticking.
Right.
They're looking for a younger player to take up, train if you want, like just take under the wing. To be honest,
the way I look at it is you're like the EU equivalent of royalty from North America, because obviously when Swanee was out in North America and they formed a team around him called Epsilon NA, what's obviously still out there, they picked up obviously Remy and Nagafan that I think actually represented Epsilon at the Gfinity Spring Masters #1 or something like that or other, and then they picked up royalty, what was kind of the surprise, and I feel like you are that surprise, not in like a bad sense or ever, but it's nice to see that Epsilon are encouraging kind of the next line of talent coming through the ranks, if you will. So, I mean, I guess you were like shell-shocked when they actually told you their plans.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was like, I haven't done anything to deserve this.
Did you think straight away, like, oh, I'm going to get so much abuse for this?
No, it was more the fact, like, I knew who was going to give me abuse. I knew who was going to try and chat shit. I knew who was going to tell me. I knew who was going to say good luck. I know who was going to help.
I mean, when it all got announced, what was the reaction? Because obviously everyone would have been tweeting you and mentioning you in certain conversations. What was the overall kind of consensus of you joining Epsilon? What were you getting in your Twitter feed?
I mean, I was at work when they announced it, and
so you're there working and your phone's going literally berserk.
I had over 400 followers and over 800 tweets that day.
Wow.
800 notifications that day.
So did your phone just die of just like notification after notification?
My phone was out of battery by lunchtime.
I'd just be like, look up right now, my phone is Twitter.
Please tell me you were on Do Not Disturb. Please, just.
No, my phone was going absolutely. Nah, to be honest, I left it on loud because I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Your colleagues were probably like, "What?" And you were like sitting there, like, "Yeah, look who's making this now."
I was like, because I had to stay on my phone and favorite everyone's tweets because, like, I felt like that was the best thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you should have bought me a sandwich. Is what I'm saying. No, but yeah, I sat there on my phone, favorite everyone's tweets, and just because I didn't want to make it like I had this on ego type thing that I don't reply to anyone anymore or anything like that. That's why you'll see me tweet people that tweet me that like you wouldn't see like pros tweet back. Like it's just the way I am.
That's fair enough. Yeah. I actually have a question from the chat coming in from I think it's IC Nor. It's kind of going ahead a little bit, but he basically wants to ask, what do Epsilon /0 yourself plan for the future? Are you gonna try and take things into Black Ops 3 together, or have we not even got that far?
As a team, we haven't discussed anything like that yet.
Yeah,
we are.
anything can happen, obviously.
We are literally just focusing on getting this league over and done with, and then playing out until our next LAN.
Okay.
So
I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Okay.
I assume the B would be the G3 playoffs or whatever, wouldn't it be? What same time as I series? So I assume that'd be the next. But then after that, I don't know. I assume G3 is doing like an open thing, like someone invited to. But talking about that, how does it feel knowing that you've got these three high caliber players? So you went from Sonny B, Damon, and Maple, who are known, but obviously they're not the same caliber as Swanee, Shane, and Reedy. So how does it feel going from, you know, the aware lineup to Epsilon, where they're pretty much household names? You know, Reedy's well known in the NA and European community. Swanee and Shane, of course, are also well known in the mixed community. So how does it feel knowing that you're kind of like surrounded by this talent, surrounded by all these people who are known globally?
At the start, when I started playing them, I was playing because Swanee and Shane came back from America, and they play so much. The Americans play so much smarter than we do, and I was doing everything wrong. Like they've been teaching me how to play the game right since I joined them, and I was doing everything wrong as a player. so they're teaching.
Did you feel like beforehand? Did you feel quite confident in the game, and then after kind of screwing with them, talking things through, did you feel like actually I don't actually know certain things, if you will?
Yeah, like I know the basics of like pushing out kills and stuff like that, but it's just where you sit, where you trade and stuff like that, like where you push at what time, and like get time bait and switching, using your teammates as like a body shield if you must, just to trade your kill. Like all that stuff you learn with them. It's more advanced with them though. Like I felt intimidated.
Yeah.
In that team to start off with, but now like playing with them
because I presume you looked up to these players. These players were people, you know, you probably, you know, you look at Swanee, he's gone on a roller coaster this year. I mean, he was been on Optic Nation in the league. He's then come back. He's then gone back out there again with Epsilon. He's been on an absolute roller coaster. He's one of the most well-known players in EU because of how talented he is. So for you playing with him, like how does that feel?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Just like him as a teammate, he's just one of the best teammates you could possibly wish for. He knows everything. He tells you what you're doing wrong after you've done it. After the game, he doesn't say it in game. He doesn't moan in game.
Yeah,
he's more. He like certain teammates I've had don't praise you at like in game. Like if you make a big play in game, he'll praise you for it. Same as Shane, which is like really, I don't know, it's like really welcoming type of way. Like makes you feel good after they've said it.
Yeah.
But yes, even better with a Swanee follow, I guess.
I just want to touch on something quickly because at the G3 Summer Championships, there was actually a segment devoted to Clayster, and he actually got asked the question, you know, what is the difference between the European players and teams and the American players? And he talked a lot about kind of the mental strategy and how he suggested kind of maybe North American teams maybe a bit more composed, they're a bit more, in terms of the mental game, they're one step ahead of you, if you will. So, I mean, do you think that's the case? Can you kind of relate to that at all? I mean, obviously, you've only been to 2 lands, but do you kind of get that sense, or has Swanee told you anything, or kind of given you any knowledge that you may have not known?
I mean, I speak to Urban a lot. Like, me and him are quite close in the scene. Like, he spoke to Swanee and Shane about me because they were looking for a younger player, and he put my name forward. Like, so, like, I'll always have respect for Dave. But I went to Dave, I said, what's the difference between playing these Americans? He said, their gun skill isn't worse or better than yours. It's all about the crucial kills they make and their composure. Like, EU teams, when they get... From what I've seen on events, EU teams get a bit flustered when it comes towards the end of a game when it's really close, and then they'll just go in flood hills one by one, not working together, and that's how they lose the hard points.
Yeah.
S&D, EU teams are pretty good at S&D just because we're so random. to say.
Let's just push mid. Let's all push mid and then just come behind them.
I mean, I've been using smokes a lot in S&D now. It's really fun. Like,
so you like to mix up a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of very evident. I can agree with that. That the S&D strategies and just the teamwork in S&D by European teams and the confidence to just be quite aggressive. I think one of the teams that was most notable was Infused, the G20 Summer Championships. You know, everyone was saying they're very aggressive. Sit back and just pick them off. And then I think they were playing TK or someone in their pool, and they didn't play to the style of or didn't counter Infused style, and then I think Infused ended up like 6-0ing them or 6-1ing them because of that. So it's definitely been kind of noticeable. But in the respawn, so you don't think it really comes down to gun skill? You think it's more about them clutch kills and working as a team at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Americans are like really, really good gun skill and stuff like that, but they're no better. They've got no better gun skill than us. It's all about how. I feel like it's more in-game knowledge, mentality, composure, and stuff like that. Obviously, they're good with their gun because they do what they do for a living, but I feel like it's more composure than anything. Right. Even most EU teams will say it as well. It's all about composure against the NA teams.
Okay. So one thing I do want to talk about is when you was announced, there's a lot, obviously, as you said, there was a lot of positives, and then there was quite a bit of negatives. You know, you mentioned that you was expecting it coming from, you know, some of these players in the community who haven't really done much within the community. So I saw a lot saying, oh, he's just an online warrior, you know, he's just got a godly connection and all that stuff. So how do you kind of react to knowing that a lot of people have said that you're an online warrior? Does it, you know, does it motivate you knowing that you want to prove them wrong? Does it help you, you know, grind out playing with this squad, wanting to like kind of be well, fit into the team very well, and obviously do well at a LAN rather than obviously just doing well online, because apparently you're an online warrior?
I mean, they say it to me as if I think I'm the best in the game. I know I'm not a warrior and stuff like that, but it's not the fact every kill is a warrior kill that I get on someone. You know what I mean? I'm out playing. I'm not missing. Like, yeah, I do warrior sometimes, but I feel like they're just, at the moment, when people say it to me, they're just, I'd say, salty in a way. But like, I don't feel pressured. Like, I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anyone.
Right.
As a player, like, I know I'm good. My teammates know I'm good. Like,
I think that's a good mentality, because you don't. The last thing you want is to kind of let all these comments and kind of slanderous tweets and whatnot kind of get to you and kind of make you doubt yourself or think differently. So I think I respect the way kind of you're thinking about it. Kind of talking a little bit about your competition. Obviously, there's been a lot of roster changes. We sadly didn't do a show last week and didn't get to kind of talk about them. So we'll briefly touch on them now. Obviously, for me, the biggest kind of contenders at the moment in Europe are yourselves, Vitality, Infused, and then Millennium. Who do you think kind of stacks up best against yourselves?
I'm also going to add VWS in there as well.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I've lost to them in the Pro League this season. It was my first game. It's Sunny and Damo. I lost to Sunny and Damo in the Pro League, which is kind of a bit of a kick in the face, really. But yeah, I'm going to put VWS in there. I'd like to see how they play on LAN, because they're a good online team, but they are warriors as such. But like, everyone's a warrior to someone. But yeah, they're a good team. I'd like to see how they play on LAN.
Yeah.
I'd class them as a rival. Infused haven't really got a Pro League team like properly sorted, but they have a world team.
Bit confusing for anyone that doesn't kind of know how it's working with Infused. They basically have Josh and Marky B as the dead cert players, and then for the Pro League, I do believe they're playing with Vortex and Quicker. But then for LAN events, they're playing with Nathan and who am I forgetting? Bance. That's it.
Bance.
So it's a bit confusing for them, because obviously there's two teams for two different things. So obviously they're not going to be like practicing the most, if you will. They're probably playing with their league team for league matches, and then probably their main team for the G-Finities and all sorts.
It's what Millennium did in Season 1 when obviously Carbon was too young to compete in the league, so he played for the LAN team. So we've seen it happen before. It's a little bit unusual from Infused. You wouldn't really expect that. You would see them, you know, to stick with 4 players and play play it out that way. But obviously, I think that's because Bance isn't 18 yet, so obviously he can't play in the Pro League. Wow,
I don't think Vortex is either. Actually,
Vortex as well. So
Vortex is 18.
Oh, is he?
Okay.
The only people that ain't 18 out of that old Exertus team is everyone bar Vortex.
Okay. This is actually, sorry to cut you off. This is actually kind of spiraling into this question that we got in the chat coming in from DTP Dylan, who basically said, do you think, who do you think, sorry, are the best EU youngsters? What is kind of related to this? So I kind of want to get your opinion on that.
Obviously, apart from me, who's just turned 18.
You're not a youngster anymore, Rage. You're 18, okay?
You know,
I'm
obviously top player.
Same as me. Like, you can't really, you throw this question on me, like, I've only been 18 17 days, but best youngsters, are we on about under 18?
Yeah.
Well, let's say for the people who are 17 or 16 now, who, you know, within a year, within 2 years, are going to be turning 18 and going to be kind of like you, where as soon as you turn 18, you're going to be getting these offers from top teams. Who do you expect to be in your situation? You know, a lot of people would say Bance, for example. So more players like him, who would you say it would be?
All right, I'm gonna give you 5.
Okay, five's a good number.
All right, we got. This is not in order, by the way. All right, we got Bance.
Yep.
Desire. Nathan.
Yep.
I feel like my old teammate Maple, if he grinds out the game, he'll be one of the best as well. One more underage.
Let me have one underage player that plays PS4, because obviously if the scene switches over from the old kind of group of players you used to play with, is there anyone that you think, hey, if they come over here, they can really cause some damage?
I don't really know many people on the PS4 anymore.
Okay. Right.
Other than the team that Tommy played with, S&D tourney with Wuskin, Scrapsy, and Jordan Buzz, and their teams like Team Tempo or something. I don't really know about them. I've heard of them, but I've never really ever had a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I feel like Wuskin, or I don't know, if anyone from that team there could be a top player on PS. Like, if he's a top player on PS4, he could contend with the Xbox players. I don't know, but we'll just have to see.
You did it. I mean, you're 2 lands in and you're already on Epsilon, so let's hope for us all. Rage, let's start a team. Come on, Rage. Come on. Goal in someone else.
Zero, you just leave that joiners, you know, put it out. We'll get like a top 8, top 12 placement, and then like, Vitality will be good. But I've got one more question. We're going to go for a break, and then we'll go into G3 League. But you kind of mentioned it as to how you had plans for when you were turning 18 to have a Pro League team. Did you honestly expect, being honest, did you expect that as soon as you turned 18, you would have these offers to join these top teams, or did you have these offers, you know, not for a top team, but for a league team? Did you honestly see you being part of a roster change as soon as you turned 18, as soon as you was old enough to go to these G3 events, go to these G3 League games?
I had plans for when I was 18 to stay with Sonny Damo, Underaware, to play for the Pro League. I had the slightest feeling I would get an offer.
Right.
Not off Epsilon, none of those players. I was on about
maybe someone like VWS, for instance.
A VWS.
Even someone in
I feel like an Infused.
Championship, potentially.
I feel like I could have an Infused, possibly.
Okay.
But none of the top teams, like none of the Mills, Epsilon, stuff like that. But look how that changed out. Like,
right. Okay. We're going to go for a break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the G3 League, because Epsilon haven't had the greatest starts to the league. I'm sure you'll agree. He's sitting there laughing. So we're gonna mention that a little bit more in the next part of the show. So, where I would say stock up your tea, but it's more not a tea. It's not a tea show now. You know, I'm going to transition over. I'm going to break the stereotypes, get a drink, go to the toilet, and we'll see you on the other side of 90 seconds. See you in a bit. Don't go anywhere. Bye. Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome to the STiKS EU. My name is a bit of a laugh because an ice cream van might be coming past his window. It's like the regular
every show, right?
weekly thing.
Just to give some context, every show, the ice cream van knows, right, Tommy's on the STiKS. I'm gonna come and sabotage it, and he always comes past blaring his tune that no one cares about. And yeah, so apologies if an ice cream van comes past. It's not outside your window; it's outside mine.
So yeah. Stick for 5% off your scuff and 10% off your fine, right? Mike.
Your mic is a little bit. Yeah.
Right, goalie.
Alex's mic is a bit in and out just for.
I'm gonna sort him out with a headset, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna sort you out a headset. We're gonna do a Just Giving campaign for Rage to get a new headset. But I want to kick things off just before we get into the Gfinity League by getting a question from DeSerto's very own Mr. Mike, who basically wants to know: are you worried about getting dropped for Moose now that he's returning to the UK? Well, it's quite a relevant point. Obviously, he is returning. We've seen it in the past where players have returned like Mad Cat and he's got onto a top tier roster. So what are kind of your thoughts on him returning? Where do you see him maybe going if it's not Epsilon?
I don't fear for my place on this roster at all. I don't feel like I'm going to get dropped at any point. I'm teaming with straight up people that ain't just going to mess me around such. They ain't just going to pick me up and drop me straight away. Like, they wanted a younger player, they got a younger player. They want to keep a younger player, they want to take him under the wing. As such, they want to... I don't fear for my place in this roster at all. I don't know where...
That's the first point.
I don't know where Moose is going to go.
Yeah.
I feel like he could get on a Millennium. I don't feel like he'll... I haven't spoke to anyone about it.
From my understanding, Rated can't actually play for Millennium in the Gfinity Pro League for various reasons. So potentially we could see Moose go to Millennium for at least the Pro League. What, in all fairness, is what you want to be in, to be fair, because obviously the Pro League conflicts with I-55, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that them two events are pretty much the last EU events, because there's obviously no City Land now for obviously them cancelling / postponing or whatever. So potentially could we see him on Millennium?
For the Pro League, I think it might be a good shout. Yeah. I feel like just for the Pro League, I don't know after what's going on with him.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the Pro League, I could see him on Millennium.
Right. Okay. So you heard it here first. Place your bets. It's all going to go on Millennium. That's the plan. So let's just talk about the Pro League. Because at the minute, Epsilon are currently in 6th out of 8th. So not the greatest of starts.
What went wrong, Zero?
So let's start with the question. Zero, you've had 2 games. First game was against VWS. You already mentioned about how good you think VWS are. You lost that 4-2. What went wrong?
Alright, we won the first hard point.
Right.
Won the first hard point. We was all pumped, ready to get the W as such. And then we played Comeback Uplink, and the 5 games after that, we just had no comms. We just weren't talking to each other. S&D was just poor. I feel like we could have got a draw out of it if I used Cold Blooded, because we played Skyrise.
Yeah.
And Nolson was sniping with Cold Blooded, and I wasn't sniping with Cold Blooded, so I couldn't see him, but he could see me, and I feel like I could out snipe him. But me being a big bright orange person in a building, I feel like I just had a big disadvantage at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
But
just how much practice did you have as a team going into that first Gfinity game? Did you have a lot of practice as this new Epsilon roster, or was it kind of a thing as like, oh, we've got a league match, quickly, we all better get on?
We picked up Reedy on a Tuesday, I think. And
then the Tuesday is the league game.
It was either we picked them on a Tuesday or a Monday, but we had no practice going into it whatsoever.
Right. Okay.
I feel like I think we scrimmed 5 hours the night before.
Okay, so you had a decent amount of practice. At least you didn't go into there with no practice at all and expect, just to get absolutely whitewashed. So going into it, obviously, with this team, I'm sure confidence is going to be high, especially for you, knowing that you're playing with these 3 players who are so great. So did it kind of surprise you that you lost to VWS, who isn't usually known? As much as they're a good team, they aren't really known as being one of the big UK household teams. So did it kind of surprise you, or did it kind of knock you back down to earth, thinking, hang on a minute, although I'm on this top team, we still got a long way to go yet?
I knew their roster 3 days previously before they picked up, and I saw the Gfinity Pro League match, and I saw it and I was like, I'll see how it is. I'll see how it is. I see you want to mess me over, Gfin, alright. I knew it was going to be a hard match. I don't like to say it. I feel like I don't like to sit there and go, "Oh, we shouldn't have lost it at all." We didn't get. I didn't feel like it was a joke team at the time. I just felt like we got outplayed. Like I said, I'm hoping to see what they bring to.
I mean, it was very early days. I mean, yes, you said you'd had 5 hours scrim practice, but in like kind of hindsight, it's not really that much compared to what you mean you could easily play more than that in a day, let alone, you know, a few weeks practice and so on. So it's not like you've been practicing for weeks and it was a big upset, because it was the first Pro League match. You hadn't really scrimmed too much. You'd only literally just been picked up and so on and so forth. So then we obviously moved on to the second match. I think the first match was on the Tuesday. Second match, I think, was against Millennium, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
on
Millennium.
the Wednesday last week. And talk us through that, because there was actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Millennium, and I can't remember what happened, but I think Millennium ended up winning it, but it actually turned into a 3-3 or something, Carubba.
I'll describe it to you.
Okay.
Basically, we went 3-0 down off the rip. Then
Wanted to really give yourselves a chance there.
we took it easy, and we didn't really. But yeah, we went 3-0 down. I said, boys, I'm not losing another GFIN match. Like, we can't. So we got to 2-2, and then we got to 3-2. Last match was solo hardpoint, and Joe kept on getting booted. And
okay,
we had the first rotation. It was 2 even ties, 2 even games when we drawed.
Yeah.
When Joe timed out. First time he timed out on host. Second time he timed out, and the game got ended. And there's a lot of here there battles from the French and us. Because the French are obviously passionate about their Call of Duty.
They love
team.
Millennium.
Yeah,
They
that's his
are
question. The
diehard
next
fans.
question's gonna be about that. Carry on.
Yeah, but there's a rule in Gfinity that says like you can't end the match if a player does time out, because it's like 30 seconds inwards that you can end the game. But we played it again, but we were speaking to an admin at the time, but like the admin was wrong, so we got it overturned into a 3-3.
Okay.
Which you can understand the French fans went on a mad one, because
they were not happy.
All the tweets that they won 4-2. And then Gataga made a video about it and called, because Rated made a tweet, and it was about something gay, I think, like that. And Gataga said it offended one of us because one of our teammates was gay.
Right.
Which then French fans were tweeting us saying, "Oh, you're gay now, are you?" And it's like,
it basically got to wrap it up. It got a bit out of control, really, on videos and all sorts.
It was really stupid.
Yeah.
For a game of Call of Duty. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so how is that now? Because obviously it's the first time you've been playing in the Gfinity Pro League. It's the first time you've really had to experience firsthand the French fans and how fanatic they are. Experience, obviously, you said didn't really give you the greatest of times. Obviously, I'm sure I've witnessed it firsthand, the passion of the French fans and the hate of French fans if you get something wrong. So how is that, knowing that obviously that's kind of looming on you if you make another bad decision or another controversial decision for one of these French teams, such as Vitality or such as Millennium?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love all the fans that all the French teams have, because it's just really big out there for the French fans. They love their Call of Duty out there. I feel like it's stupid. I feel like it's a bit stupid when a new team comes in and they support that team straight away. Like, even if because the French fans have always moaned at a player before, and then they've joined Millennium. Now they love him. Like, it's all like a love-hate relationship with them. Like, if they're on your team, you love them. I like the French fans, don't get me wrong, but they jump the gun a bit. Like, They go a bit too far sometimes, but you can't stop them. They just love their game too much. They love their team a lot. I'm happy for them to do it, but, you know, I can't stop them for what they tweet.
So, this is the first time you play Pro League. What is your honest opinions of someone who, before competing was 17 in season 1. Now, obviously,
Mike.
Tommy, ask the question. You know what I'm going to ask Tommy? Ask a question.
Every other word that Ray says is just like, you can't understand it. So I'm going to just slide on over to talking about, obviously, so you at the moment you have 1 loss and 1 draw, not probably where you want to be, considering there's not really that many games in the Gfinity EU Pro League. Heading into this week of matches, there's actually, I think, only 2 today, if I'm not mistaken. I think we've got Vitality versus VWS and then Team Infused versus yourself. So let's just kick things off by going through the Vitality versus VWS. Obviously, you seem to rate VWS quite high. So with that in mind, what are you expecting out of this match? Are you expecting maybe a draw, or who do you think is going to be favoured in this matchup?
I'm going to put this out here. I think VWS will win the league. If they play well on LAN. If they play like they are online, they'll win the league. I'm not calling them out or anything. I like them all. I've played 2 of them on LAN, 2 of them. I know they're all good, but it's how they play at LAN. I feel like they can win the league.
Yeah, because the last few matches are actually on LAN at the Gfinity Arena, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's 3 matches on LAN.
Yeah.
So
although, there has been a bit of, conflict between you and Millennium because of Joe getting booted and whatever, ultimately the real kind of make or break matches where it gets to the end of the league are going to be decided on LAN. So you actually reckon VWS can take it?
I think VWS can take it. If they lose to Vitality, I don't feel like they'll win.
Okay.
I can't see it. I can't see them losing to Vitality. It's just how with how they've been playing online, their online success at the moment, winning both their league games, winning 2 Gfinity online tournaments. I can't see them losing. But
okay,
I like to see Vitality win because I like everyone on Vitality.
Yeah.
But I like everyone on VWS. But the way VWS have been playing online recently, I feel like they can take Vitality.
Okay, interesting. That's interesting. Alex, if your mic is working.
It probably isn't going to work.
Okay, we can hear you at the moment. Just quickly give your thoughts on this matchup. VWS versus Vitality Storm, Tommy and co. Go.
I like VWS to win, but it's something different.
Okay.
That's always see Epsilon up there. Obviously, there's different rosters. VWS kind of shape because he didn't really have big.
And your robot. So I'm just gonna take it back from him. Okay, so you're both basically going with a VWS win, it sounds like. I'm gonna go a little bit different, and I'm gonna go with a draw. I have faith in Vitality. They're sitting, I think, 1 loss, 1 win at the moment. I think, with the practice they've had, they've got a pretty decent roster. I mean, they acquired Watson and Urban from Team Infused, who I thought were 2 of the outstanding players at the Gfinity Summer Open. I mean, Urban's played absolutely phenomenal in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So I'm going to go with a draw. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's definitely one of the matches definitely to watch if you can. Just before we go on to talk about your matchup, kind of coming into the Pro League, obviously you weren't in the season 1 of the Pro League. So as someone new to it, what were kind of your initial thoughts? We didn't really talk about this. We probably should have back before we talked about your first 2 league matches. But what are your initial thoughts on how kind of it's all run? What are your opinions on the Super 6 series? What can you kind of shed some light on, if you will?
Coming into the league, I knew it was going to be so stressful. Just if you lose a match, it dwells on you because there's other top teams in it that aren't gonna lose a match. Which I feel like most of the top, if VWS lose tomorrow, the league is open for everyone to take. I knew there was gonna be a lot of stress in it. There's more top teams in this one.
Yeah, I can agree.
Like before, it was just Vitality, Epsilon battling it out. I
mean, Hypergames Infused played a bit of a part. It's fair to say we can't count them out, but I do agree. This time round, I saw all the tweets about, there's going to be so many good EU teams. Obviously, before the roster changes, and now it's happened. I can, definitely agree to that. I mean, for you, what needs to happen for you to win? Because at the moment you're sitting with no wins at the moment. Is it still realistically do you think you can win, or is that something maybe that's gone away from you now?
Me and Swanee were talking yesterday about the league, and if we beat Infused tomorrow and things go our way as such. Like I want VWS to win, but a draw could be so big for us.
Yeah, I mean, a draw is the best way because that's two top teams drawing, only getting 1 point each, I do believe. And therefore, obviously, if you win, that's kind of boosting your chances, putting you on something like 4 points with your draw already in hand.
And to a top team as such, like we play Vitality, Hyper Games, and Spirit Game in Atlanta.
Okay.
And Hyper Games have been really weird this league, I think. They haven't really been taking it serious. I've heard they've been going around with blunderbusses and stuff like that, not taking it serious. So I'm hope they do that to us at LAN. Like, but
I'm sure they will. Let's hope so.
And Spirit Gaming, obviously, like they're just the Spanish.
Yeah, I mean they won their first game though. So I mean,
I heard Vitality were getting booted, but. Like, that's what they played Vitality and beat Vitality 4-2. From what I heard, Vitality were getting booted. I don't know.
Yeah,
they could have like that.
I heard the same. But obviously, no one was streaming, so we don't. I do believe Rage has actually just dropped out the call. I think we are going to continue though, just talking about it. So, so coming into this matchup, yourselves versus Infused, another team that you obviously consider to be up there in your top 5. What do you think about this? Because I mean, I watched Infused first or second match, and they looked pretty good in S&D, especially. They were really confident against, I think it was Hyper Games. They did go up, I think, like up 5-0, and then they kind of Hyper Games came back a bit, but ultimately they looked pretty strong. So, what do you think is your expectation from this matchup?
I'm really looking forward to playing that team. I'm friends with Quicker, Marky, all of them on there. I feel like we can take it because I feel like we're the better team in the such because they're a pickup team, but we haven't really practiced as much as a team for the games. But I'm hoping to 6-0 them, as I would say any other team, but I can't really say what's going to go down because it's all just game day. Whoever turns up on the day.
Okay, well that's fair enough. I mean, I quite like that you're quite respectful to your opponents. You're not like straight 6-0. Like I'm gonna be like sipping coffee in between each game or so on and so forth. So I really admire that you have respect for your opponents, and I think it's something that we need probably more of in the scene, if I'm honest. But so it could go really either way. It's all about obviously how you play, how Infused play. I mean, still, it's quite early days. You've only obviously been on Epsilon for, it's probably still under 2 weeks in all fairness. So it'll be really interesting. And then just let's touch on it briefly. I mean, these games aren't until next week, Tuesday, but technically the show would have, next show for the STiKS EU won't be able to cover that. Spirit Gaming versus Millennium. Quickly give me your predictions for that.
I think Millennium might have to play. I don't think Moose.
Yeah, I mean, Millennium not playing with Rated is a big factor in this game. It's fair to say. I mean, luckily they're not playing this week, but it's a factor. It's
really big for whoever plays Millennium. Rated not being there with Rated, they're such a strong team. At the moment, Rated's probably one of the best in the EU at the moment.
Yeah. So having him is a pretty big.
Yeah, I think if Moose doesn't join them for the league, I think they have to play with Jacko.
Okay, someone I'm not too familiar with, but is that good or bad from your experience and opinions?
Who are they playing against? Spirit Gaming?
Yeah, Spirit Gaming versus Millennium.
With Jacko, they can win it. It's Spirit Gaming. Okay. I've heard they can. I heard they only take maps off their host, so. It could be a draw, but I feel like with Rated, they could easily 6-0 them. Okay,
that's fair enough. I mean, from my opinion, I'm going to go probably with 5-1. I reckon Spirit can at least win one of their games on host. I've just actually looked at the picture of Rage on the stream. Yeah, we are having a couple of technical issues. Rage, I don't know what to say. I've given up with kind of giving explanations about him, but basically he's had some audio problems and he seems to have dropped out the call for whatever reason. But we're going to continue as always. We always have technical issues. We troop on anyway. Okay, so last matchup to go over is IGI versus Hyper Games. Now, just before we talk about this, what do you think of IGI? Because they haven't had really the greatest start in the Pro League. Just if I look at their record really quickly, they're actually sitting bottom and they haven't actually won a map yet. So they've had 2 6-0s. Kind of, do you know this roster? What kind of your opinions about it?
IGI, I knew they weren't gonna. As I don't want to sound like not egotistical, but I don't want to like bring anyone down. But like I knew IGI weren't gonna get any top players for the league. I knew they weren't gonna pick up some mad players to win the league. I just knew it weren't gonna happen because it's just IGI. It's just a Premier League spot.
Yeah.
If I don't know. It's just IGI. I don't know. I just don't feel like they don't really have a chance in the league.
So do you reckon it's another 6-0 for Hyper Games?
If they take it seriously, yeah, I do.
That's fair enough. I mean, I can definitely agree to that. They haven't won a map yet, IGI, sadly. I hope they do. I don't want them to end up at the end of the league on a donut because that would be really embarrassing. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they win at least one map. But we're going to pretty much end this episode, guys. I apologize for all the problems with Alex. Yes, we know he's a detrimental individual, but we have to carry on anyway. So the way we normally end the show for you, Zero, is basically we give you about 30 seconds just to shout out your sponsors, your team, talk about whatever you want, and then we're going to end the show. So if you want to just shout out whoever, and then we will end the show.
Shout out to my teammates, Swanee, Reedy, and Shane, Epsilon, all their sponsors. The main ones is Scuff, GT Omega, NetDoomer, and Control Freak. Yeah. There's more, but I can't quite remember.
There's loads of sponsors. It's like abundance.
Shout out to our coach, Dinge. Everyone that I play COD with, which be like Bance, Desire, Vortex, all the homies, and all the players that I play with, everyone that supports me in a way, and yeah, that's it really.
Awesome stuff. Well, my name's been Tommy, guys. I really appreciate Zero you coming on and kind of giving us kind of a little background to who you are for anyone that doesn't know about you. I apologize on behalf of Rage, who is like my other half, if you will. He's probably somewhere in the bathroom crying his eyes out because he can't be on stream. But as I said, my name's been Tommy, guys. This is pretty much going to do it for this week's STiKS EU. Remember to use the code STiKS for 5% off your Scuff Gaming products and 10% off Gamma. It really does help us out. I mean, it's not just supporting one individual, it's just supporting the STiKS overall. But this is pretty much going to do it for this show. You can catch it on the YouTube if you want to catch any bits or you missed the start of the show. My name's been Tommy. That's been Zero. We will see you later.